everyone, and welcome to Movie Reviews number 3, Three Ninjas. This movie revolves around three brothers, Samuel, Jeffrey, and Michael, who learn martial arts from their grandpa to become ninjas. They even get special ninja names. Samuel is Rocky, Jeffrey is Colt, and Michael is Tum Tum. Unfortunately, Grandpa has a past that includes this man, Snyder, who is a full-on weapons-dealing bad guy, currently being investigated by the FBI. Turns out our boy's dad is the agent in charge of the investigation, and since Snyder knows all about the family connections, he decides to kidnap the boys to make their dad back off. The boys are not too keen on this, and they make Snyder and his little army of ninjas work for it until Grandpa jumps in to save the day. Three Ninjas is very much a family movie, in that Dad is a workaholic who ignores his kids until he realizes that family trumps career. Also, Dad doesn't like Grandpa teaching the boys martial arts and is just about to ban it going forward, but then Grandpa shows how effective such training is, and Dad agrees the boys can continue with it. So the theme focuses on the importance of family more than anything. I had seen this movie before. My brother and I watched it a lot growing up in the 90s, and it's fun to barrel down this memory lane. Even now, there are things I like about this movie, such as the boys' room. I'm an adult now, but there's a part of me that still wants this room, with its warning light if someone's coming, and its tin can phone connected to the neighbor next door. I mean, that stuff would be pretty useless for me now, but I still kind of want it. The set design did well here, and this guy expresses the sentiment for me.
Whoa. Cool room.
On the topic of this guy, let's talk about this guy. He's one of three dudes hired to kidnap the boys, and they go through a very Home Alone-esque scenario in which they invade the boys' home and the boys set traps and tricks for them in an effort to prove their ninja training is worthwhile to their dad. Never mind the smart move of calling the cops via tin can.
Okay, don't panic. We'll call the police. Duh, there's no phone in here. Emily, we'll call Emily and she'll call the police. Hold it. Rocky, this could be our chance. If we can take these 3 robbers ourselves, then maybe Dad will see that our ninja training's worth it. Yes! Should we do it? Let's moralize them.
The boys would rather go it alone against 3 guys with guns. Overlooking that bit of dumbness, the invasion scenario is pretty funny, with jelly beans, CDs, and soda.
What's that stuff? Remember last year when you were sick and you couldn't take a dump for 3 days? Yeah? Well, this is the stuff that makes you have to go. Instant diarrhea. You're sick. Not as sick as they're gonna be.
All turned into various weapons, and Colt modifying his ninja mask for a pretty creepy outcome. I am also a sucker for a good basketball game, and Rocky and Colt put on a good show against some school bullies in an effort to get Rocky's not his girlfriend's bike back after they'd stolen it from her. If only I could play basketball that well. I'll stick with my love of the English language, though, and the grammar rules that bind it all together. And I bring this up here because the boys have a fun exchange at the beginning of the movie regarding pronoun placement.
And my brothers and I. Whatever. We spent the summer the way we always do, at our grandpa's cabin.
Yeah, well, most kids are at some stupid camp. Me and my brothers.
My brothers and I.
Whatever.
The emphasis here is so great and makes Rocky my favorite brother, although I'm going to admit that this is technically not an official grammar rule. Grammar Girl over at Quick and Dirty Tips explains that it's a polite thing to list yourself last. And on Neil Gaiman's blog, someone posted a snippet from the Oxford Reference Grammar, which I'm guessing is this book, that explains it stems from conventional politeness, although informal speech apparently doesn't need to be polite. So putting yourself last in a list is polite, but not absolutely required. Regardless, I'm going to stick with the polite version because hearing something like, I and you are going to have a good time, does not sound right at all. And there's the song over the closing credits that's legit called Kid Power, performed by Will Rock and with the super refrain. Another thing you just can't not love. Of course, there are things I don't like about this movie, and they're mostly because I'm watching it as an adult instead of a kid now. Top of the list is the gigantic level of suspension of belief required for this movie. Take this scene, where Rocky wraps ties around the dude's neck and hops off the second floor railing before climbing back up the ties. Now, I want to say this would basically kill the guy, but I couldn't find any definitive evidence that this would snap the dude's neck or choke him out, potentially leading to full asphyxiation. If you can say yay or nay to that, please let me know. Beyond that element, the dude just lays there choking and gasping for breath.
Faster! Tidge, bail me out!
When he could just sit up and unwrap the ties from around his neck. It's not like he's hogtied and can't move, but then we wouldn't have the humor of the situation, I guess. So enter suspension of belief. There's also the idea that FBI agents leave their case files lying around so their kids can snoop in them.
Who is this bad guy anyway?
And there's a picture of him right there on the top of that file.
I feel there are so many federal laws broken in that scene, but maybe things have changed in almost 30 years. On top of that, Snyder is really pushing the limits of an over-the-top bad guy for me, with such lines as,
Say goodbye to Grandpa, boys! Ah, so much for never fighting battles! You can't win! Ha! Ha!
and in case you were at all unclear about his feelings on the topic,
God, I love being a bad guy.
though, to be fair, I do love that line and its over-the-topness. The writers and the actor could probably have dialed him back a bit for better effect. There's also the question of Grandpa's backstory with Snyder. We know they were business partners,
Mori Tanaka's my ex-partner
and we know Grandpa trained Snyder,
Grandfather was Snyder's teacher.
but we don't get any more information. That's a pretty big chunk of necessary story, I feel like, when so much of the movie relies on those ties. What did Grandpa and Snyder do together? Was Grandpa a criminal? If Dad knows Grandpa and Snyder used to be friends and could potentially still be, why would he let his kids associate with him? Questions that don't get answered, but potentially could if a little more backstory was involved. Overall, there are still lots of things about this movie that I like, and the dislikes aren't enough to detract from my enjoyment of it or my intention to sit through it with my nephew when he's a little older. And that leads me to wanting to watch this movie again. Movie Reviews rates Three Ninjas an A. But you tell me, would you keep it or delete it? Let me know in the comments below, and tell me what about the movie warmed your heart or made you detest the entire industry. For more movie reviews, be sure to subscribe to Movie Reviews, because remember, this is only 3 of 1,617 reviews to come.